everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood hanger hobbit here, and welcome to the last of the buying guides for 2019, covering Britain, China, Italy, and France. So let's jump right on in. I got asked on the last one why I didn't include the Chika, and it's the same reason why I wouldn't say get this bird right here, Tux Gladiator. Problem is, with the Chika, you can fly the exact same bird in China, and the Russians and the Chinese always fly together, so it's kind of pointless. That's the exact same problem with this Gladiator. You can fly it with the Chinese, you can fly it with the Swedes, you can fly it with the Brits, and they all fly together anyway, so yeah. Kind of pointless to pick up the Gladiator. That said, I'm glad I've got it in my collection, because it's pretty and I like Gladiators, but yeah, I wouldn't really bother. It's a nice little thing for collectors, but that's about it. This, on the other hand, the Whirlaway. Rank 1, battle rating 1.3. If you like to do some low tier tanking, look at the booms on this baby. But don't let it fool you. This ain't just for the tankers. This thing can outturn birds it really shouldn't. This thing turns nearly like a biplane. It's insane. This is one of Bohica's favorite birds, and I understand why. Good Lord, this thing is fun to fly. Now, it is slow. It's like with a Gladiator. You're not going to be getting from one side of the map quick. Oh, but good Lord, when you start getting into turn fights, you are going to have so much fun. And the freaking MGs on this thing, front and back, kick a lot of butt. Yeah, look at this rear MG. It's got a huge firing arc. Anybody tries to come around you, look at that. There's very little places where you can't be popping them in the face. And them front guns, they do the work. Personally, I have had an absolute blast with mine, so yeah, if you want to have some low tier fun, this is one to have. Now, the Havoc Mark 1, rank 1, battle rating 2.0. Back in the day, I would have said yes, because it still makes a good fighter bomber, especially if you're wanting to do ground forces, because you get 400 or 500 pound bombs, you get 2,000 rounds in the snoot right up here, so you can use it as a fighter bomber. It does get the universal belt, so you can start a lot of fires. And here's the problem with this one. Look at this right here. Here's an enemy on your tail. See the problem? Yeah, that rear gun on this one has a very, very small firing arc and a very, very, very huge tail. So, yeah, enemy fighters can just park right here and ping you to death, and there's not really squat you can do about it because this thing ain't agile enough to dodge. So, yeah. Back in the day, I would have said yes, but now I would say Hudson's a whole tier higher, but at the same battle rating. And look when you park on the butt of a Hudson. Look at that. One down here and two up here right in the face. Yeah, there is no place for a guy to tail sit on you that you're not going to be giving them all kinds of a bad day. Yeah. Plus, this thing gets a freaking great bomb load. 4 250s and 6 100 means that you can carpet bomb with this bad boy. Plus, look right here. It gets rockets. Oh, heck yes. So, for the fighter bomber role, I would say take the Hudson over the Havoc. It's just more versatile. Yeah, you can do more with it. Plus, at rank 2, it can do your first battle task if you need them to. Now we move up to the fighters. Say hello to the British Corsair, as I like to call it, the Buffsair. Because, yeah, she's been buffed recently. This is a good one. I mean, it's got a decent climb for its BR, good dive speed, heck of a good energy retention, gets the war belts. Does it get a bomb? I can't remember if it does. Oh, yes, it does. It gets up to 1,000 pounds. So for those that want to do the ground forces, yeah, this can make a good fighter bomber. Look at the size of that boom. Yeah, you drop that on a tank, it's going to have a bad day. Plus, USA 50 cals can rip through the tops of a whole lot of tanks at that BR. And in air, it is pretty decent. You're going to have to do you a bit of side climbing, and you're never going to get above stuff like a Crappuccino. Yeah, you only got a 12.3 meter per second climb, so there are going to be limits, and you only get about 12 minutes on the web. But all in all, yeah, I would say it's a fun one to have. If you want you a good low-tier fighter/fighter bomber, Corsairs are fun. They're nice birds to fly. This, on the other hand, the boomerangs. Oh, how I loved you, Mr. Boomerang. You used to make me so happy. Now you make me so sad. Yeah, back in the day, right up till this last patch, I would have said, get this. But now, yeah. See this right here? Rate of climb? Cut that in half. Yeah. See, Gaijin whipped out that nasty old Nerf bat, which I always tell Joseph 2000, never say Nerf in front of Gaijin. Because, they go too far. They go way too far. I guess somebody complained about the boomers because, man, they beat this poor thing into ICU with the Nerf bat. Yeah, now if you wept for more than like 10 seconds, you're hitting red and your engine's starting to die. And if you keep riding it, your engine goes black in about 30. And without WEP, no, this plane is crippled. It is just crippled. It can't climb. It can't build any energy. Oh, which is such a shame because this thing used to be just a rodeo clown. You used to be able to just do donuts around everybody. It was a blast. But without having that whip, oh, no, it takes too bad of a beating. I would say no, skip this. If you want one at this tier, grab the buffs here. Do not touch the boomers. It's sad. Maybe they'll fix it in the future, but right now, no. Now let's move on up to tier 3 and 4. Say hello to the Britcat. This another one that's great for tankers. Look at that load. Yeah, 6 HVARs and 2,000 pounds of boom boom. Yeah, if you want to be a close air support monster, here you go. But just because it's good for ground forces don't mean it's not good in the air too. Yeah, I love Hellcats. These things are tanky. The climb rate's not that hot, but this thing can keep going and going and going. And it gets the war belts. So yeah, this thing is decent in air. It's decent in ground. If you need you a good all-arounder in the British tree, this would probably be the best of the all-arounders, I would have to say. Just remember, with all the American birds, don't let them get slow. Nothing worse than a freaking Brit cat or a Brit stang that's got no energy. No, because it'd take you too long to build back up. You'll get yourself slaughtered. Keep them hot. Do slashing attacks, booming runs, booming zooms. Don't get them too slow. Oh, the Brit Stang. This one I have a love-hate relationship with. On the one hand, it has Mustang handling, which is nice. The cannons, if you load them up with ground targets, are decent. It's a shame that they've got the server-side bug on the Hef Sappies, but the ground targets still work. Problem, it's got an Allison engine, which means above 5,000 meters, no. Above 5,000 meters, this thing is a bus. Yeah, if you expect to do any high altitude fighting, don't get a Brit Stang. That said, this thing probably has the most lovely skins in the game, and it has a ton of them that you can unlock. It's decent dive. It's got good energy retention in the flat. But personally, it's really a one-trick pony. It's good at medium altitude fighting. That's it. If you want something to be a good all-arounder, or if you want to play any ground forces, no. Get the Brit Cat over the Brit Stang. But if you're wanting a strictly pure fighter, and you don't mind being stuck below 5,000 meters, I would say try the one in the American tree, see how it fits you. Because they're basically the same bird. If you like the American one, give it a shot. I'm bringing up this one because it's on sale right now in the Steam store. Yep, it's on sale for half price. Darth Plagueis, the power of the dark side. Oh, I wish they'd fix the Hef Sappies because I used to love to fly this thing with stealth belts. Oh, you could just reach out and smack guys and they'd never know you were coming. That said, ground targets still work on the Hispanos. Remember that. And yeah, look at that climb rate. 31.8 meters per second. And you can slap a 250 kilogram bomb on there if you absolutely need to. And I wouldn't. Personally, if you want something to grind out the frickin' British jets, it would either be this or the Wyvern. And God, I hate Wyverns. That sound is like fingernails on a chalkboard to me. You won't be catching me flying no Wyverns. No. This thing, she can dance. And unlike the American LF, it actually gets put with other Spitfires. And Spitfires like to climb. So at least you won't be fighting alone. Finally, we'll look at the Pretender because they like to bring these things back during the frickin' sales for one-offs. And you know a plane is bad when Adam 514, the god of the air, is asked, how do you fly this thing? And his answer is, don't. Just don't. Don't do it. He said, clip spits or crap spits. Don't do it. He told me, hey, you got Plagueis anyway. Why are you even thinking about that? No, just leave it in the hangar. And I have to agree with him. No, you lose too much by clipping the wings and you don't gain squat. 250s is not as good as 430s. Yeah, it's faster theoretically than the Plagueis, but look at the altitude. It's faster at 8,000 meters. How often do you see fights at 8,000 meters? If you do make it to 8,000 meters, you're going to be fighting by yourself. Ain't going to be nobody else up there. And with only 23 meters per second versus 31 meters per second, no. Pass. I would say pass on this. Well, now let's take a look at the Chinese. Now, starting with the Chinese, we start out with their Tier 1 Premium, the Hawk 3. I love this little thing. I don't know. Don't ask me why. This has got to have the slowest landing gear in the game. That poor little Chinese pilot must be having to sit there and use like little wind-up foot pedal thingies like with a freaking bicycle to get these up, because, good Lord, by the time they get up, you're already halfway across the map. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact that it's so dang agile. Maybe it's the fact that the 7.62s can actually kick a decent amount of butt at this BR. I don't know what it is, but I have a soft spot for this thing. And it's going to be so bloody cheap. If you like biplanes, if you like goofing around in the low tiers, I think it's fun. I really do. First time I took it out, I got 4 kills and would have got 5 if I wouldn't have got bloody greedy. Yeah, got greedy and ended up getting smacked down by the AAA as they ran to the runway. Surprise, surprise. Oh, but this thing, H-81A2. This is basically the P-40C event vehicle. If you saw my Punishing Punks and Prizes video, you know basically how this is. It's a decent bird, but again, it's an Allison. It can only get up to about 5,000 meters. And the problem is, it's at 2.3 BR. And guess what's at 2.0? The CW, why in the hell is this BR set for this thing 21? What'll end up happening is you'll end up using this for ground pounding, because the CW-21s will shoot up into space in about 4 seconds flat, slaughter everything, and leave you exactly jacked with a side of squat. That's if you're lucky. If not, the CW-21s will all shoot up into space, get their stupid butts slaughtered, and now you have 15 guys up into space where you can't reach because your engine's wheezing and sneezing. Either way, I would say unless you're a collector, and just like the Flying Tigers thing, I would probably just whack a talisman on one of the other birds. It's a P40. It's not even the best P40. I'd probably say skip it. This thing. Can you make it work? Because I've been asked that multiple times while flying it out. Yes, you can. Here's the catch. Putin scoot. I shit you not. You have to fly this thing exactly as you would the Key 44 Atsu. The problem is that right there. Type 99 Model 1. Those guns are such insanely low velocity that above 250 meters you are more likely to spark than you are to do any damage. And it will drive you up the wall. So what you have to do is you have to keep your gun split. Number one, that's most important. Number two, don't even bother firing these things above 250 meters. You're just wasting what little ammo you got. What you're going to have to do is use the MGs up here. When you're at 300, 400 meters, wait till you're within 150, 250 meters max, then fire those. You do that? Yeah, I've had 4-kill runs in this thing. There ain't a lot of people that's going to like having to hold their fire till they get that bloody close. And if you've got 4 or 5 or 6 guys trying to swarm you, which can happen when you're dealing with all the freaking tanker trash flying in USA teams that this occasionally gets stuck with, yeah, it cannot be pleasant. This is another one that I would say, unless you are just an absolute nut for zeros, I would whack a talisman. Which is why I've got these two birds up here. The P38L and the P51K. P38L has dive brakes. It has a buttload of firepower. And its talisman is only 700 GE. Heck of a lot cheaper than buying the bird. And let's look on this one. 850 GE. Yeah. Both of these birds, heck of a lot more versatile than these three over here. Yeah. Climbs good. Dives good. Buttload of firepower. Yeah. When it comes to the Chinese, I would say whack a talisman. Yeah. And I got asked about the Key 84. It's got whole 5s. So you got the exact same issue you have with the A6M2. Although it does get the decent MG. So you can at least kill from a decent distance with the MG. But your cannons, again, you're going to have to do Putin scoot. Do you really want to have to do Putin scoot at 5.3 BR, which is in the dreaded 5.0 to 6.0 black hole, where 90% of your team's going to be tanker trash farming at 200 freaking meters off the ground while you're facing 6, 7, 8 guys? Does that sound like fun? Don't sound like fun to me. So no, I would say whack a talisman on one of these. It'll feel a lot better. Now let's go over to the Italians. And the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. Oh, I love the Italian tree. Let's start off with Marcolin CR42. I love this thing. I got the German one. I got the Italian one. I put a pretty face on him because I just love this thing to death. Ever since they gave the buff to the MGs, the Breda Safats are actually pretty much on point as long as you use the air target belts and don't fire above like 400 meters. Yeah, this thing can actually do some racking up. This is a little beast. I would say if you want something really cheap and you like biplanes, it's fun. I've had ace matches in this little monster. This thing can kick some serious booties. Yeah, good climb. Look at that climb rate for its BR, 1.3. It's got a 17.2 meter per second climb. It's good in a dive. It's a biplane. It turns on a dime. I've had a blast with it. So yeah, you want a cheap one? Go for it. I think it's fun. Now the IAR 81C. This is another one. If you're a tanker, this baby does double duty. Look at them rockets. Look at that boom. Yeah, this baby can do the double duties. That said, you have to remember, it's an IAR. It is not a 190. Even though it's got the big round nose like the 190, kind of looks like it should feel like a 190. It's not a 190. Yeah, its dive speed is pretty low. You need to be pulling up about 500 meters per second or you're going to lawn dart this sucker. And she does get sluggish after about 450 meters per second. So yeah, you really need to watch the speed and the dive with it. Would I tell you to get it though? And the problem is it gets offered a lot in the war bond shop. So really, you can get it for free if you're willing to do the war bonds. And the war bonds, if you've watched my war bond video, they're not hard to do. That said, half price, 2.7 BR, it's got the MG151s. I've had ace matches in it. I think it's fun. I even got the German skin for it just because I love this bird. But yeah, you're going to have to put in the work. This is not one you just pick up and instantly start kicking the booties. You're going to have some practice behind the stick to get the feel of an IAR. This, on the other hand, Pasta Fire. Oh, good Lord, this thing is a monster. Oh, with the ground target belts and the universals on the MGs. Oh, I've had so many 5 and 6 kill matches in this thing. It is ridiculous. You can just feast. You can feast so well on all those low-flying Americans and Brits. Oh, this thing turns on a dime. Great climb rate. And not so hot in the dive, but then again, that's true of all Spitfires. But yeah, it's got, if you're easy with the ammo load, and I would suggest splitting the guns. This is another one. Guns need to be split. Because, yeah, your Hispanos and your 7.7s, completely different drop rates. I would be using the 7.7s for the main gun. Use the Hispano for your kill shots. You do that, oh, this thing can slaughter. This one I would say is definitely a must-buy, except if there's one bird I would suggest anybody get for this frickin' sale, it would be this. The Hungarian 109 G2, the Goulash Edition. Anybody wants to know what I'm doing my event in? It's this right here. Oh, look at that climb rate, 23 meters per second. Oh, it climbs good. It's got insanely good energy retention. You can slap the gun pods if you need the extra firepower. Oh, good grief. All of you that missed the Romanian vampire bat when it was in the game, here you go. This even has the Romanian vamp bat as an alternate skin. Look at this. All you gotta do is go right here. Boom. Now your bird looks just like my Romanian vamp bat in a German tree. That said, I love the white. I think it's pretty. But yeah, if there was one I would have to say get, it would be this right here. This baby is a death dealer and a money maker. Oh, I am having so much fun flying this out. I knew I said I was going to do Old Chubby this year, but I realized Old Chubby's got an ace crew. So does Romanian Vampire Bat. So many of my favorite birds have a freaking ace crew, but this one doesn't. Yeah, this event's probably going to solve that problem. Going to get an ace crew for this beautiful bird. Heck yes. And finally, we move on to France. Starting with Powler's D510. I like it, personally. But this is one of those where you're going to have to be laser accurate with your shots. You only get 600 rounds MG, and you only get 60 rounds with that Hispano. That said, you can make it work. You can get 4 or even 5 kills with that one ammo load if you're easy on it. But you got to be easy on it. And honestly, at the same BR... Look at that. You got the CR 714 with 4 MGs with 1,200 rounds. You got the beautiful 875s with 3,200 rounds. If you're a collector and you just want it for the pretty, I can see doing it for that. That would be it. I hardly ever fly mine. This one I only got because it was free. That should tell you what I think about this bird. I wouldn't have paid even a penny for it. Yeah. Problem is, look at the ammo load. 300 rounds MG, 120 rounds of Cammon, and you are stuck most of the time with USA teams where you have to try to carry the whole thing. And with those FIT rounds, oh, it's gonna hurt. Anybody that saw my little video on this saw me sparky-diddy spark, 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 spark. Yeah, see, I already had this one right here. Child's Yak 9T. Now that's more fun to fly. That thing at least gets the dirt gun, and when you hit with that sucker, oh, they gonna know it. Yeah, 37 millimeter, they gonna know it. This, it's only a 20 millimeter. No, it can't dive. Its turn rate is okay, not great. Has lousy handling up in the sky above like 5K. Nope. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. If they still had the Narval, I'd say get that, but they took it out the game. So what I would say is right here, whack a talisman on this. Let's see how much the talisman is. 700 GE. Here you go. You got the 4 Freedom Cows. You got 60 rounds of 37 millimeter goodness. You got a 21 meter per second climb rate. Yeah, look at that. I put a King Cobra on there because, yes, it is the king of the snakes. Yes, the P63C5. It is a butt kicker. It will definitely be a heartbreaker and a life taker. The only other one I would say you could possibly whack one on would be right over here, the F47U. But the problem is 6.0 BR. It does end up with some pretty crap teams. It ends up getting sucked down in that 5.0 to 6.0 black hole of allied suckiness. Whereas this is at 4.0, so you're going to be flying with stuff like the Swedish PM1s, the American US 109F4. Yeah, there's a lot of climbers at the 4.0 BR that you don't run into when you get stuck in that 5.7 black hole. So personally, yeah, if I was wanting to grind France, whack a talisman on that sucker. Use it to grind your jets. Well, I hope this helps everybody out. I hope you get all the toys you want to get this buying season. And I hope to see you up there in the clouds having a safe, happy, and fun holiday. Have a good one, y'all.